Hi, this is Subhadip Mondal and welcome with a new story. Today's presentation is the story of a beggar becoming a well-known businessman in the city. A beggar is still today begging, as usual sitting on the footpath of a street in his place. He receives alms almost as he received daily. He begs every morning and ends his begging at night when the crowds are scarce. Sometimes when he gets hungry, he buys something with alms money, then sits in his place and begs again. In the evening, a famous businessman was passing by in an expensive car and seeing the beggar stopped the car and got down there. Seeing the person, the beggar naturally asked him for alms. Then the businessman looked at the beggar for a while and finally said something to him. "What will I get in return if I give you something?" The beggar replied, "I am a beggar. What can I pay? If I had the ability to give something, I would to be sure not beg." Again the businessman said, "I don't know what you will give, but if you take something, you should to give something. It's our duty as human beings. Anyway, here's some money." Saying this, the businessman gave some money to the beggar and left. After the businessman left, the beggar thought about this. What can I give? He is right. If we take something, we should to give something. It's our duty as human beings. The beggar thought about it overnight. Finally, an idea came to the beggar's mind. He saw that there had some money in his bowl. The next morning, he bought some pens wholesale from a nearby bookstore with that money and started begging in a new way. "If you give me something, in return I will give you some pens with which you can write your thoughts in a notebook." Seeing every passersby, the beggar was saying the same thing. And instead of alms, he was giving pens of equal value to all. The passersby also thought that no one ever begs in such this way. Instead of taking something, the beggar was giving something. The passersby were very happy. At the end of the day, the beggar saw that he had received more alms today than usual he received, and the beggar felt happy from his heart. From then, he started begging like this. Out of what he got for alms throughout the day, he used to spend exactly the amount of food he needed and used the remaining money to buy pens wholesale and begged in this way. A few days later, the businessman was passing by again. The beggar saw him and said, "Hello sir, you gave me some money that day, but I could not give you anything in return. Today I want to give you some pens in return, and if you give me something today, I will give you some more pens in return." The businessman was very happy to see that the beggar improving and said, "Wow, you have become a self-employed." I became very happy. Saying this, he bought some pens from him instead of some money and left. After hearing the words of the businessman, the beggar sat down to think again. He called me a self-employed. That means I became a self-employed. But sitting on the footpath does not do business. Finally, another idea came to his mind. Out of what he earned throughout the day, he would eat exactly what he needed. And with the remaining money, he would buy pens wholesale and sell them retail. And in this way, to increase his capital, when he saw that he had a fairly good capital, he used some money to build a small stall and started doing business there. A few days later, the businessman was passing through there again. He was very happy to see that the beggar now had a stall of his own. "Wow, you have become a stall keeper now. But will people only buy pens?" Saying this, he bought a pen from him and left again. The beggar was very happy to hear the businessman, but again thought, "Really will people only buy pens?" Since then, he used to keep other things like pencils, erasers, notebooks along with pens. At first, everything was going well, but gradually problems began to arise, such as remaining balances to the customers, non-recovery of that money, etc. Finally, as a solution, he stopped giving anything to anyone instead of due, and business gradually improved from before. and in time his stall also converted into a big shop. After a few years of hard work, when the business had grown well and he had accumulated a good capital, he gave the responsibilities of his shop to a trusted person and opened another shop beside it. Now he earns from two shops. In this way, from going 2 to 4 and from 4 to 8 shops, now he has 50 stores under him. And it took few years to reach 50 stores. Now, of course, he understands the value of time very well. A few more years passed like this. Now he don't buys anything in wholesale. Instead, he has his own company where more educational products are manufactured along with his own shop. A few more years passed like this. Now he has many companies under him and he became the biggest businessman in the city. One day he was going somewhere for a business reason, and in the airport coincidentally he met with the businessman who was also going somewhere. Seeing him, the beggar businessman said, "Hello sir, how are you? Did you recognize me? I am that beggar whom you once taught that if you take something, you should to give something. It's our duty as human beings." Thank you.